Guys, Marsling here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so we finished the EZA for Hit on stream earlier today, and now we are going to jump into the showcase. So I did manage to find a rainbow full level 10 Link's friend. Unfortunately, I threw mine on the Link level team once we found out his EZA was coming to Global a little bit earlier than he expected, but as you can see, he's not quite finished. Still going to be very good, but the friend is full level 10 Link. So we are running him on his team, so double hit leads. He is a Universe 6 category lead for 4 key and 170, which is pretty crazy for Universe 6 team. And then he also has Universe Survival Saga, Key 3 and 160 as his secondary leader skill, which actually makes him one of the better Universe Survival Saga leads as well. So very, very good in terms of leader skill. His super attack is raises defense for 1 turn, does immense damage and has a medium chance to stun. So raising defense on super, always very good. And then his passive, so he gets attack and defense 20% per Universe 6 survival category, Universe 6 category ally attacking in the same turn. So if you've got 2 Universe 6 allies on the same turn, it's basically like having a 40% support unit, which is pretty good. He has a medium chance of stunning all enemies when all enemies attacking in the same turn are Universe 6. So that's going to be very interesting for Super Battle Road. You know we're going to do a Super Battle Road video for him. He gets an additional attack and defense 160 when performing a super. So he is a slot 2 unit because he basically has no defense in slot 1. He gets an additional 80% attack and attacks effective against all types when the target enemy is stunned. And then attacked enemies attack minus 20%, defense minus 80% for 2 turns, and a high chance to stun for 1 turn. So we are running him on a full Universe 6 team. I brought a whole bunch of support. The one thing I will say, he's lacking a really good Link partner until LR, Goku and Hit come out, which obviously it was announced today that we are getting a double rate spanner for them for Global for December. So definitely very hyped to pull them now because these two together will be absolutely crazy. So we are going to go ahead. We'll leave Caulifla in slot 1 here to see if we can get some dodges. We did not get the stun go off. So I'm doing the youth stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history, and the reason why I picked this stage is because for the first few fights you actually are able to stun the enemy, because Hit obviously gets quite a lot of extra you know, stats and everything, the effective against all types, like when the enemy is stunned. So I wanted to try and do, well, 6.7 on turn 1. So he's got 3 links active. We've got the support from Kabe, and then of course this is a full Universe 6 rotation, but 6.7, and then yeah, look at that, just takes them out, no crit needed. Very, very good. So let's go ahead and float off Vados. I brought a bunch of support. Basically, the Tech Caulifla and the AGL Caulifla are here to be slot 1 units that can basically dodge a bunch of attacks. Because Hit is designed to be a slot 2 unit. So when you're running double hit leads, obviously it means you've got, you know, you're either going to have one on both rotations, or one has got to be floating. And then if he comes into the turn where we've got the other Hit, it means we either have to put one of them in slot 1, which we don't want to do, or have them both together so that the one that's in slot 3 is then not getting any links active, which is not really ideal either, although you can make that work. I forgot that apparently Chi-Chi is a only super attacks you character, so that's nice. And yeah, this is that situation that we're in here. So it's alright, we can go ahead and throw you in slot 1, get the dodges here, and then I imagine the Hit in the middle is probably going to be able to finish him off. It's a bit unfortunate considering we've got 2 hits on the rotation, and the stun did not go off for either of them. So definitely the chance to stun at the start of the turn is not something that you want to be trying to rely on, because it's not very likely that it goes off. We saw that when we did the Brainwash Supreme Kai of Time showcase as well, and it's happened a lot in the past of STR Jiren, that these units that have this chance to stun in at the start of the turn, it's not very often you see it go off. But so we get the stun. Wow, get the stun here and crit, so that's GG. Even with the attack stat not that high because we didn't have as much support, that was still a very crazy rotation. So very decent power there, considering that Hit had 1 link partner. The unit in slot 3 was basically dead because it was the second Hit with no links active. So still a very strong turn. The one thing that does hurt this team a little bit, and same with the Kale and Caulifla new team build, is that because we didn't get those 3 free-to-play unit EZAs straight away, Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they come in part 2. The Kale one is probably the one that would have been the most useful, because the Int Kale is definitely a very good support unit for these teams. So her not having her EZA is a little bit disappointing. But, I mean, getting hits EZA before physical Kefla, I definitely think is good for Global. The hit EZA is definitely way better than Kefla. Kefla, the teams that you're going to run her on, even if you want to run like a full Universe 6 girls team, there's other options like for her. Obviously, post EZA, she becomes very good. But what I'm saying is I feel like she's not a unit that you need to run. Like, even if you want to run that full Peppy Gals like Universe 6 team, you can still run a lot of very solid options. Whereas this tech hit, like, it's really good to see him get such a great improvement, because he was the proper, like, big first, like, global first, like, Christmas, like, here's a new category lead, like, a proper Dokkan Fest hit. Like, when he came out, people seem to forget this, because he's been bad for quite a while and desperate need of an EZA. But when he first came out, look at that, jumping up to 5.9, very good. When he first came out, people were hyped for him. He looked really good. When we saw the initial, like, rainbow showcases from the private server and stuff, he looked really, really solid. And then, unfortunately for him, it was not long after he came out that the meta just, like, fully shifted to being all about defense. And obviously, in some of the newer, harder content, you know, enemies can't be stunned. And so, unfortunately, he just lost a huge amount of his utility not long after he came out, which I think made people underrate him a lot quicker. And so he very quickly became, like, a unit. People started considering that, like, people were saying that, like, he's always been bad. And it's like, if you remember back to when he first came out, that was definitely not the case. But definitely very cool to see him get such a massive improvement. Obviously, we made all the memes at the time when it happened on JP. The fact there was a global first unit and JP got his EZA first. But it is what it is, unfortunately. Now here we actually have him stunned, so we are going to be getting all of the extra bonuses here for our boy. So let's go ahead and grab some same type orbs here. So obviously his start of turn defense, the reason I'm not really showing it is because he gets almost all of his defense on super attack. But to be fair, considering he gets most of it when he attacks, and he gets 160% plus the defense raise effect of his actual super attack. And at the start of this turn, he's already got 100k. So that jumps up to like 250 with his passive, and we get the 30% raise on super. So actually, he's getting pretty close to 300k defense on this turn after supering, which is pretty crazy. And with the enemy stunned, with a 40% support unit, 7.3 million attack stat. That is pretty good. So yeah, this guy definitely is a very strong unit now. Very fun, very good defensively after super attacking. So I really am excited to use him in some super battle road stages. See, they share cold judgment, so that's a nice little extra defensive link here, as well as shocking speed. So let's actually leave you in slot 1. Are we at a point where we can't see? We're at a point where we can't stun now, and that's probably the only downside for this hit, is obviously because quite a lot of his kit revolves around stunning. It means in that harder content where you can't stun, you are going to be missing a little bit out of his full utility, but he's still very good. I mean, the stun chance, when the enemy's stunned, you get the types of effective against all types, which is very good, and a little bit of a buff. But it's not the end of the world. I mean, we see here we're still rocking like a 6 million attack stat on this turn for him. Really, really good. Obviously, you want to go with a bunch of additional for him, because then you can do this and get a second 6 million attack stat super attack. And in a stage where we could have stunned, chances are that first super attack would stun, and then the additional does a ton more damage because the enemy he's attacking is now stunned. So yeah, this hit EZA, very, very powerful. Very good to see him being such a strong unit now, because yeah, he's been down for quite some time, but he's back now, and very cool to see. So we are going to get the Dokkan attack this turn, so I do kind of want to do this, but obviously only 100k defense start of turn. It's not really that crazy, but I think since we're going to get the Dokkan attack this turn, I think we probably should go ahead and do this. Because, I mean, we got 100k defense. It's not the worst, because at least we got type advantage. If we were against, like, an int enemy, I definitely would not be putting him in slot 1. But, hey, he's taking for double-digit damage, so we take that. And obviously not got so many links active with the AGL Caulifla, so not as crazy of an attack stat. Still rocking a 5.5. Because like I say, that is Hit's only real drawback is he's the Universe 6 leader. He gives a crazy buff to that lead, like the team. That leader skill 4 key and 170. But he just doesn't really link very well with units on this team. So obviously because his sub-lead is Universe Survival Saga, if you are able to pull that LR, Goku and Hit when the double rate spanner comes out, like these two together are going to be a crazy powerful setup. I need to double check what LR, Goku and Hit do though, because if they're not a slot 1 unit, then it does make that rotation pairing a little bit awkward, because obviously one of them has to go in slot 1. But at that point, I guess, depending on how many dupes you pull or whatever, you could have one of them on rotation and one of them floating. Especially on this team, if you're going to run double Hit leads, as crazy as it sounds to run a very powerful LR off rotation, you could quite easily just have LR, Goku and Hit off rotation, so that then every rotation you have a tech hit in slot 2, and then that God Goku and Hit is floating into slot 3 to link up with them. But obviously it depends. Like if you pull multiple copies of them, so you've got like, you know, the new LR, very powerful with dupes, like you probably don't want to be running them off rotation. But like I say, I need to double check what they do, because if they're a great slot 1 unit, then that rotation of them and then Hit in slot 2 is going to be pretty crazy. If they're not a unit that can really be run in slot 1, then obviously it becomes a little bit more difficult to figure out the best rotation setup, because like I say, Hit not really designed to be run in slot 1. Like on this turn we can see 119k defense with the extra support. It's not bad, but in terms of like difficult content, you really don't want to be putting a unit in slot 1 that only has like 100k defense, because in say like the GT Goku event or something, you put him in slot 1 and like the Ozaru or either of the Super Saiyan 4 Gokus are absolutely gonna mess him up, which is not great. But even in this setup where, you know, we can't get the stuns, we're just rocking in slot 2 with not a lot of links active, he's still getting very, very good attack stats. I mean, defense lowering is not particularly powerful, but 80% defense lowering on the enemy is it's pretty drastic. I remember back in the day when you had the tough events like the Broly Dokkan event, where lowering defense, you're hitting him with an enemy that could lower defense with your super, was basically the only way to beat that event if you didn't have the specific units, like the Blazing Battle units and stuff. Or units like, you know, when STR Gogeta came out with the super effective against all types. You know, that event suddenly became very easy. But I remember back when I was a newer player and that Broly Dokkan event was incredibly difficult. So lowering defense, unfortunately, doesn't really have much of a place in the meta anymore. But still, 80% defense lowering is pretty nice. These harder events, the problem is they changed it so that harder events, they don't just have really high defense, they have actually some like built-in damage reduction. So lowering their defense isn't actually doing as much as you might think it would be. So, oh, they sealed Hit. Are you kidding me? Did I bring Senzu Bean? I did. Haha. Let's go. Alright, Senzu Bean. Because you don't have Fierce Battle, do you? So yeah, we put you in the middle so you at least get Fierce Battle active. So Senzu Bean, so our boy is not sealed. I can't remember if Pan is the final stage, because I feel like we could probably wrap things up here. But let's see if this is the final stage here. So 1.7 from AGL Caulifla. AGL Caulifla is still pretty solid now, because she raises defense on super, she dodges, she can counter supers, so she's still pretty useful as a defensive unit. And yeah, 6.6 basically for Hit, with the Int Kabe in slot 3 for that Universe Survival Saga 40% support. So no crit means she survives with a tiny sliver of health. Can 55% Kabe finish off the little kid Pan? It's going to be hilarious if he doesn't. I know he's got type disadvantage. Wow. There you go. I mean, like, I know he's 55% and everything, but come on. Come on, Kabe, what are you doing? So we'll get our boy here to get the finish. Full on overkill. Tiny sliver of health. Little toddler pan. 6 million attack stat from hit. And how are we looking here? Do we crit? No, we don't crit. But is that it? No. So we do have... Oh, oob. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Well, we could probably wrap things up here. We're not going to see any more sort of crazy attack stats out of him because, you know, we can't stun anymore. We got a nice support rotation here because we have a Caulifla on rotation. This KO is giving her full buff. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. But I feel like not many people could really be disappointed with this EZA. Hit, definitely very powerful, definitely back in meta. Usable in difficult content because of how good his defense will be post super attack. But we will obviously go into that in some further videos. Really looking forward to trying him out in Super Battle Road as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for those and let me know what you think of Hit down below in the comments section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.